not a cultural building, but a building of administration, which is, from my point of view, it's very strange thing. I'm not sure that the new bridge, which connects nothing with nothing, is a good urban solution. And the park, which is maybe should be redesigned properly, and it will be popular for the citizens. But now it's just nowhere. So there are some things which are, from my point of view, showed me that we have similar problems. Maybe in different contexts. I'm sure that I will never compare what happens in contemporary Georgia with what happens in Russia these days. But some methods of decision making are, seems to me, quite similar. And I suppose that that's some legacy of Soviet time in a way, and some not impossibility to find new instruments for urban planning. That's my personal motivation.
Yeah, sure, please.
I am Katia Gwineria, art scholar. Thank you for your presentations. I would like to know about your idea on Tbilisi. Of course, in 3 days, you managed, I believe, to see something at least, and these restoration works are quite intensive, as you see. And I would like to know, these rehabilitation, restoration works, how would you evaluate them? If you have any concrete remarks, if you can emphasize positive sides, or what your recommendations will be on rehabilitation, restoration of old parts of the city. Thank you.
Thank you. The question is to me, I suppose. I saw just one part recently restored. I don't remember the name of this avenue, which is next to Marginashvili. Where the trees were cut to open facades, and as far as I realized, that the structure of housing inside is as it was. So it's just what we call in Russia Potemkin village. So it's just new facades without changing social and the quality of environment. And to cut the trees just to open facades, from my point of view, it's not a proper solution. I don't know, maybe the trees were not, maybe they were bad or something ill, but I suppose that if we started also, again, I don't want to impose Moscow examples as perfect, but what we started, I'm a member of this Department of Cultural Heritage, and recently we opened a new program when you can rent a historical building for 1 ruble per square meter. It means that it's just for nothing, but with the condition that you will keep this building in proper conditions, like historical cultural monument. But it's different approach, because it changes social conditions of this environment. It makes it better, and it's a kind of improvement of historical environment, but not just to make the mask and to keep the body, ill body behind this mask. That's from my point of view, that's my remark concerning this new restoration what I've seen.
Yes, it's really cosmetics, and it's not with makeup that you're going to solve problems. But it's an important part. I mean, it's an important aspect of the city. It's the way it looks, the way buildings looks. But I think there are also other urban issues which are very important for the city.
My note is to open the discussion. In fact, I would like to emphasize about whatever our Russian colleague said. So cutting trees at Armasheneveli Avenue, it has a logic explanation because these trees were very close to the houses and they were demolishing the houses by their roots and the communications, first of all, and the fundaments and the basis of the houses suffered from those trees, and now we planted different kind of trees which will be adequate, I think, and their growth will be adequate. ხომ არ გვეტყვით ვინ ზამთრობ? გიორგი ფარცხალაძე, საქართველოს ეროვნული მუზეუმიდან. And, but there is another problem as well, because I would like to emphasize the problems mostly. I agree, of course, that many things are done only in facades and very badly, because the old fabric of the building is demolishing, dilapidated, and instead the plastic details are sort of restored, and the authenticity of the buildings is being lost. It's a very bad tendency, of course, but on the other hand, actually something should be done for some anniversary of the Rose Revolution, for instance. Sometimes the time limits are very tight and they have to do and finish the building with a lot of violations, with a lot of faults. This is the Soviet mentality and the Soviet approach. That's why I say that in everything you can see pros and cons. This is this reality that we are facing.
Just moving a bit away from those particular examples, in Georgia, I was just wondering, since we're talking about the post-Soviet world, if there was a general vision or general policy of which visions and policies there are in those countries towards Soviet architecture. What is the policy? What is the vision? How do you deal with Soviet architecture in the post-Soviet world?
As far as I know, in Soviet time there were very good Georgian architects here, and now it's also in common with Moscow and Tbilisi. All architects who are working in Tbilisi, as well as urban planners, are foreigners, and Russian government doesn't trust Russian architects in the sense that Georgian government doesn't trust Georgian architects. From my point of view, that's in Soviet legacy, where it's not about Soviet, it's about creative potentials. I would suggest not just to invite foreign architects to design for Tbilisi or Moscow, but to teach students to start new educational program with foreign architects and to change the Soviet mentality with not just using the practical potentials of foreigners, but to exchange knowledges and to make progress in education, in